Video opens with dynamic shots of rocket launches, satellites, and CGI of future space stations. What if I told you that everything you think you know about the space race is about to change? For decades, when we looked to the stars, we saw the American flag. But there's a new player in the cosmos, moving with incredible speed and ambition, and they're rewriting the rules of the game. This isn't just about planting another flag. It's about the future of humanity in space. Today, we're diving deep into what the news should have told you about China's space program. Most people see space exploration as a two-horse race between the US and Russia, or more recently, a playground for billionaires. But while we were watching rockets land themselves, another nation has been quietly building a celestial empire. Let's start with a bombshell from a 2021 report by the US Director of National Intelligence. It projected that by 2045, China could surpass the United States as the world's dominant space power. That's not a distant sci-fi fantasy. That's a serious projection from the highest levels of intelligence, and it's just over 2 decades away. So, how did this happen? How did a nation that was largely agrarian 50 years ago get to a point where it is challenging the undisputed leader in space technology? The answer lies in China's staggering economic transformation. Over the last half-century, its economy has grown at a pace unprecedented in human history, lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty and building futuristic megacities. This economic powerhouse is the engine fueling its cosmic ambitions. In fact, many economists predict that China's economy could overtake the US economy as early as 2035. When an economy grows that fast, it doesn't just build skyscrapers, it builds rockets, satellites, and moon bases. Money is the fuel for space exploration, and China's tank is getting fuller every single year. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, the US still spends way more on space, right? And you'd be correct. The US budget for space is still the largest in the world, by a significant margin. But here's the kicker. Money isn't everything. It's about how you spend it. China ranks second in global space expenditure, but they are getting an incredible bang for their buck. They've focused on strategic, long-term goals, and have been incredibly efficient in their development. They've leapfrogged certain technological hurdles by learning from the successes and failures of others, allowing them to make rapid progress without the massive initial investment that the US and Russia made during the Cold War. It's a classic case of working smarter, not just harder. Their focused, state-driven approach allows for long-term planning and consistent funding that private companies or politically shifted budgets often struggle with. And this isn't just theory. We've seen concrete, history-making results. Let's talk about the Change 4 mission. On January 3, 2019, China did something no other nation had ever accomplished. They successfully landed a probe on the far side of the moon. Think about that. The side of the moon that perpetually faces away from Earth, shrouded in mystery. It's a technically immense challenge due to communication blackouts. You can't directly communicate with a lander on the far side. China solved this by first putting a relay satellite in a special orbit beyond the moon to bounce signals back to Earth. It was a brilliant and elegant solution. But they didn't just land there. The Change 4 mission carried a mini biosphere, a sealed canister containing seeds, fruit, fly eggs, and yeast. The goal to see if life could be sustained in the moon's low gravity and high radiation environment. And for a brief, historic moment, it worked. A cotton seed sprouted, becoming the very first biological matter to grow on the lunar surface. Although the experiment ended when the frigid lunar night descended, it was a monumental first step towards understanding how we might one day grow food and create self-sustaining habitats on other worlds. This wasn't just a mission, it was a statement. China isn't just following in the footsteps of others, they are blazing their own trail, and they haven't slowed down since. The Change program is a masterclass in methodical, step-by-step progress. Following the groundbreaking Change 4 mission, China successfully launched and completed 2 more missions in the series. Change 5 was a game-changer. It landed on the moon, drilled into the surface, collected lunar samples, and then this is the incredibly difficult part, launched a vehicle off the moon, rendezvoused with an orbiter, and returned the samples safely to Earth. This was the first time in over 40 years that any country had brought back rocks from the moon. The samples they brought back are geologically much younger than the Apollo samples, giving scientists a brand new window into the moon's history. Then came Change 6, which did it all over again, but this time, from the far side of the moon. an even greater feat of engineering. They successfully brought back the first ever samples from the mysterious, unexplored lunar South Pole Aitken Basin. Each mission builds on the last, systematically increasing their capabilities. They've demonstrated landing, roving, deep space communication, sample collection, and returning from the lunar surface. These are all the critical building blocks you need for more complex endeavors, like, say, building a permanent research station, or even sending astronauts. So what does this all mean for the future? It means the 21st century space race is on, and it looks very different from the last one. It's no longer just about national pride. It's about securing economic advantages, scientific leadership, and even resources. The moon is rich in materials like helium-3, a potential fuel for future clean fusion energy. The nation that establishes a presence there first could have a major advantage. China has already announced plans for an international lunar research station at the moon's south pole, and they're actively inviting international partners to join them. This is a direct challenge to NASA's Artemis program. We are witnessing the formation of two distinct blocks in space exploration. This isn't a story of one nation versus another. It's a story about a changing world and the dawn of a new era for all of humanity in space. China's rapid advancements are a wake-up call. It pushes other nations, including the United States, to reinvest and innovate. Competition, after all, drives progress. The ultimate winner of this new space race won't be a single country, but humanity itself, as we push the boundaries of science and exploration further than ever before. The next 20 years are going to be absolutely thrilling to watch. We're on the cusp of returning humans to the moon, building permanent bases, and looking onward to Mars. And China will be right at the forefront of that incredible journey. What do you think? Is this new competition in space a good thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deeper look into the future of space exploration, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that goes beyond the headlines. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.